What's going on YouTube? Back for a daily vlog. I think today is like day 13 or 14 almost. So I've been watching a lot of stuff about relationships and marriage and stuff, and there's this one guy on YouTube that I listen to. His name is John Griffin Life 2.0, and basically he's saying that you shouldn't get married, you should stay single, especially for men, because there's such a trade-off that happens when you get married. You know, marriage kind of favors women. Contracts are designed around favoring women. If you get divorced, she gets half your shit. We all know that. And whenever it comes to the children usually go to their mom by default because they came from her body. So it's like there's more of an emotional attachment with them. So I don't know. I've had girlfriends before where I thought that, you know, my mom was just crazy and neurotic, but then I dated these girls. I'm like out of breath. I dated these girls and they turned out to be just as crazy and annoying. And they're all kind of like that. I'm surprised they survive as long as they do. And I really think it's men's fault for being seduced by their sort of cute little faces and lustful bodies. You know, so men, what do we select for? We let our you know, our genitals decide. Meanwhile, women are selecting for like intelligence, perseverance, work ethic, the ability to provide and protect and do all that stuff. So yeah, like naturally selected, men are generally better equipped to live life than women. That's why women, you know, they don't stay single for very long. They always have a man in their lives. That's kind of their survival strategy, is for men to take care of them. So yeah, what else should I say? I'm just at the park, vlogging, doing my thing, running. My legs don't hurt as much, like they still kind of ache, but I took a leg day yesterday, a rest day yesterday, because they hurt and I couldn't run. took ivermectin yesterday, my 3rd dose. So I feel pretty clean. Feel pretty clean right now. That guy is always sitting at that bench now. I gave him $1, and I guess it told him that if he, it's almost like a reward for sitting there. He's like a little mouse. He presses a button and gets cheese. So maybe he's waiting for more money, but literally I haven't noticed him before until after I gave him that $1. He's never really sat there like that, I don't think. I don't know. But yeah, men and women are just not designed to be friends. Like, I think there's a lot of lustful attraction initially with sex and everything. You know, they get like all these chemicals released in their brain that feel good and make them want to pair up. But when it comes to like making the same decisions, it's like if men aren't taking the lead, then women kind of take the lead, and women just are not selected to do that stuff, you know? So I think that's why men are always encouraged to build themselves up and become strong, and not even gonna say financially, because if your mindset's right and you have the ability to make money and you're healthy, how much money in your bank you have doesn't really matter too much. I mean, it does, like, but where you get it from, it doesn't really matter. You know, like, as long as you have it. And then there's other things that I've been watching on YouTube, like how the birth rate has been declining, marriage rates have been declining, and I think marriage rates have been declining because people realize that it's a scam. It's a contract written by lustful partners back in the day. You know, just inexperienced people who thought that they would stay together, and through their sexual impulse wrote that contract. So I mean, marriage to me is having a baby, marrying your two genes together for life. I think that's truly what marriage is. But we've socialized the language a little bit so that there are laws written around the institution of marriage. But to me, marriage is just having a baby, because that baby is you and her together for life. So from a biological perspective, that's what marriage is. You know, animals don't have contracts. You know, ducks, they stay together for life, but they don't need a piece of paper holding them together. It's just that's what they do. So yeah, humans, I mean, they try to stay together for life, but you need your independence a little bit. The last girl I was talking to told me that I'm too nice or something, which I thought was like weird to say. I guess she was breeding for being an asshole or something. I don't know. But definitely not the environment I want to be in anyway. You know, I realized that like I just wanted to get her to like me. And about the nice comment, like when you're a creator on YouTube, other social media platforms, you kind of become nicer to yourself and to others that you see, because you realize how difficult it is. So you kind of just start treating everybody with respect, no matter who they are. But I feel like that particular girl, she never did anything difficult. Like, she never put herself out there for the world to judge, and she hasn't built that callus for herself to become a nice person. She was just kind of a nasty, mean, manipulative person who takes advantage of you. So, whatever. Her loss, honestly. And yeah, I feel like, especially when you're, you know, a good-looking girl, you kind of live in that woman life. Like, everybody treats you like they want to sleep with you, and I can't imagine what it's like being an attractive woman, because I guess that's just how you react to people and everyone who wants to take you to bed, I guess. So yeah. So this all kind of reminds me of that time I took mushrooms, and it just like gave me a glimpse of what God is. And I literally saw him. And the best way I could describe what he looks like is he's like this tall, giant alien, like math genius that like invented all this like alien technology and created a simulation for himself so that he can experience human life. And to me, I'm that human life he wanted to experience. So to me, like from my perspective, when thinking about what this all means and where we come from, what's the purpose of life, that's what I kind of imagine. God was just kind of bored up there by himself, you know? And he's literally called Why. He's not called anything else. That's why if you look at the name Yahweh, it starts with a Y. And also he he's purely male, which is the Y chromosome. So, you know, he put his signature everywhere. That's kind of the dots that I connect, is that, like, yeah. And then he created, like, I don't know, in this mushroom trip that I was having, I was imagining like 5 females, 5 X's, 5X, you know, chromosome purely, and they just had like nails, and they just, like, you know, they were pretty aggressive, but they all wanted him, and they didn't care that he was with all the other girls in the group. It was almost like he created it so that he can have five different like flavors of girls to be around throughout his life. And yeah. And they got me wondering, like, do other people perceive? And to me, the answer is no, because I can't prove it. You know, I can only prove my own perception, my own consciousness, my own thoughts, my own experience. And so, what do I do with my time? I design the future of personal flight. Because I don't know, I feel like that was my purpose given to me by God when he created me. When he wanted to be a human, he was like, let me create someone who would do something awesome and have a life that I love living. And then when you think like that, your life does kind of have a level of solitude to it. Not that I'm lonely, I still have social interactions. You guys see me interacting with people on this channel. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so we go door to door knocking and preaching the good news. So, you know, I have a lot of public speaking skills and that, but you know, the 0 views on my channel, it's just part of how I philosophize about, not 0, because I appreciate all the 11 subscribers that joined Worm Warrior. But you know, my viewpoint on YouTube subscribers and views and stuff is that if you're doing something to if you're like manipulating the algorithm to get to, because you know it will get views, it's like not fun anymore. And I don't want to live a life where I'm just like a slave to the numbers. I want to live my life the way that I want to live it. And if people vibe with that, then great. But if they don't, it's like, whatever. I'm not going to try to convince you to like stick around and hang out with me and be in my life. Like, where was I going with that? What was the initial thought I had? Yeah, that's just no way to live life. That takes the fun out of being a content creator. You know? You look at zoo animals, like, do they try to like hoard resources or like try to stockpile food and become like attractive to other animals by, no, like, as long as you can provide for yourself and like 2 other people, that's really all it takes. And honestly, it's not that hard, you know. But people are like addicted to numbers. They're like, oh no, I want $1 billion. You know, so do I. It's fun to try. But I'm not gonna like do things I don't want to do to get that money, because money is really a social construct. And when you look at it like that, you understand that you have to interact with people, and sometimes the people that you end up interacting with you don't agree with or you don't like. You know, it's like, why would I script myself and design and package a product or a video for those types of people that only like you because you killed yourself to get them to like you? Why would you want that in your life? You look at people like what's his name, what's that tech reviewer guy, MKBHD or something, Marquise Brownlee. He was like, yeah, you know, I make YouTube videos, but it's work, you know, it's a job. It's like, bro, like, we're so brainwashed to want to have a job for whatever reason, you know. If something has a purpose, if like this park wasn't here before and people came here and together and were like, I'm inspired to build a park right now, so yeah, that technically could be called a job, and you might get paid for it by God, and God rewards you for putting in the effort, for bringing something into life, something useful. But people do it for like the wrong reason. They don't do it for purpose. They do it for the money, the monetary reward. Like they're seeking like that monetary reward instead of doing something because it's actually supposed to exist. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's about it for me. I just wanted to ramble a little bit. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment your thoughts, all that good stuff. Check out wormwarrior.com for your parental palmate deworming starter kit. Feel a lot better without those parasites in your gut. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.